Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 5.20 and our chapter is cost profit volume analysis or cost volume profit analysis CVP. Management accounting is meant to make the decision maker. So the decision maker or the manager is not meant to do clerical work or longer questions or recordings. Basically, manager would take decision by depending upon very short statements. So here in this chapter we are practicing to make decision depending upon the short statements. Our 5.20 is actually based upon several decisions. You can see that under our requirements there are 5 different situations in which manager will have to take the decision. Circumstances will be changed, conditions will be changed, and after that a decision would be made. Right now the current condition, this and that is an introduction in first 3-4 lines. And right now please observe this. The situation of this organization is not favorable. Why? Because you can see whenever there are brackets in front of net margin, that bracket will show the loss, and it has been mentioned over here, net operating loss. So if you are running an organization which is already facing the loss, what kind of options would be available for you? So here there are trials, there are options which would be applied to make it profitable. Hopefully you have understood the theme of the question. Right now organization is facing loss and there are 4 or 5 options over here which will tell you how to turn this organization as profitable. The first requirement, this is the statement which you are very familiar with. So instead of reading it, we are directly going to our requirement: compute company's CM ratio and its break-even point in units and dollar. It's usual. So first requirement we are going to perform. CM ratio is needed, which is calculated by dividing CM to its sales. For that we need contribution margin. How it contribution margin per unit you can take, because it's little easy. For that sales per unit would be needed and you will subtract variable cost per unit. Now go to the question and see what is available. Here you can see 20 per unit sale price is available. So 20 you can put over here. Now second matter is to have VC per unit. Then you will see your question, VC per unit is not available, but we have units and total amount. So whenever you want to calculate per unit of any element, you will be doing what? Total amount, and that would be divided by units. And right now what we need is per unit variable cost. So total amount of which element we would need? Again variable cost, and units of variable cost. Understood? The universal formula for per unit is amount would be divided by units. So we need to calculate per unit VC, for which total amount of variable cost we will observe. Here you can see variable expenses total are 189,000. So you can put 189,000 over here, and it would be divided by unit VC, per unit VC, that is unknown. This is what we need over here. We need to put VC per unit over here and we are going to calculate it. Okay, at this side we have completed, and per unit units of VC, okay, please excuse, units of VC are provided over here. As you can see, the unit sold would always be equal to unit of variable expenses. So you can put 13,500 over here. In this way you can calculate here. Instead of unit VC you can put, not working, okay, we can write it again, 13,000 500. It was meant to be written over here. We have written at next. Okay. Statement is completed. Now we can calculate 189,000 divided by 13500. So we have got our VC. Now come over here. Sales per unit. You were going to calculate CM per unit. Sale per unit was given in the question. Indirectly we have calculated VC per unit, and you need to subtract this VC from sales. Sale price was 90, VC is 14. So ultimately we have got our answer of CM per unit. So we are going to calculate it. 20 minus 14 is 6. So in this way, your CM per unit is calculated. Why we were calculating CM per unit? Because CM ratio was needed. Per unit sale price was given. You can see over here 20. Per unit VC was not given. We have calculated, and this would be used for other purposes as well. So here your CM contribution margin is calculated as 6. You need to divide it with sale price. 20 we have seen in the book, that is taken as date. 6 divided by 20, we can put a short bracket over here so that we can have. Okay, now you understand. CM per unit, 20 was the sale price over here. We have taken from the book, and CM is calculated just like this. Now put it on your calculator. 6 divided by 20. So we have got our CM ratio. You may write in this way, or you may write in terms of percentage. To calculate percentage, you will take this answer and will multiply it with 100. So this is in terms of percentage. 30% is your first answer. You can see 0.30 or 30%, and we have calculated 0.30. 0.3 or 0.30 is the same thing. 0 after decimal has no value. Now we will see 1A, where we will be calculating break even point in terms of per unit. So how do you calculate break even point per unit? Fixed cost will be divided by CM per unit. Fixed cost is mentioned in your book, 90,000. So put 90,000 over here divided by CM per unit. Look at here, contribution margin per unit is calculated at 6. Now statement is completed. Put it on your calculator. 90,000 divided by 6. So we have got 15,000. Look at here, second answer is 15,000, break even point in terms of units. So this is second answer we have calculated. This was our first answer. Now we will be looking at 1B, where we are calculating break even point in terms of dollar or amount. And how do we calculate? We need to have fixed cost, and that would be divided by CM ratio. Luckily we have also calculated the CM ratio, which is 0.3. Fixed expenses were used over here, 90,000. Same fixed expenses would be used over here. It would be divided by CM ratio, and here in part 1 we have already calculated CM ratio, which is 0.3. Put over here. Statement completed. Now put it on your calculator. 90,000 divided by 0.3. So we have got our third answer, which is 3 lakh. Look at here, 3 lakh is your answer. So in this way you have completed your first part. Now we will be looking for second part, and second part is saying what? The sale manager feels that 8,000 increase in monthly advertisement budget. Look at that, it is not depending upon the units. That means either you are selling 13,500 units, or you are selling 20,000 units, or you are selling 25,000 units. This expense would be fixed. Why? Because you will pay 8,000 to agency, and that expense would be completed. So it would be a fixed expense. So he wants to increase fixed expenses from 90,000 to 98,000. $8,000 are being input as increase in monthly advertisement. This is not the first thing. What next? Combined with intensified effort of the sales staff. Okay, sale will put their effort, but an accountant has no concern with emotions or hard work. It is concerned with the numbers. Will result 70,000 increase in monthly sale. Okay, they have expectations and we are following these instructions. If the sale manager is right, what will be the effect of company's monthly net operating income or loss? Okay, so now we will be making income statement accordingly and we will change the changes which is asked over here. For income statement, very first thing is to see the sales, then you will subtract your fixed costs, you will get contribution margin, then you will subtract your, excuse me, less variable cost, and then you will have fixed cost, you will get your net margin. Here we do write units and then per unit. Finally we will be putting amount over here. Let's see what is happening in number 2. Feel that 8,000 increase in monthly advertisement budget. Already fixed expenses are 90,000 and there will be an increase of 8,000. So our fixed expenses structure would be changed. 90,000 was old and they are increasing $8,000 budget for advertisement, which is also fixed. So your fixed cost would change to 98,000. And next it is said that increase in sale would be 70,000. 70,000 increase in monthly sales. Your old sale is 270 and please look at here. Old sale is 2,70,000 and they are expecting an increase of next $70,000. Let me see, is it? Yes. So 2,70,000 was the old sale and 70,000 was the expected increment in sales. So you have seen here, please focus, 270,000 initial or old sale and 70,000 increase. So we will have 340,000 increase in sale. And look at that, what else he wants us to change? Nothing. So here I have told you a desi formula for variable cost, since units are not mentioned over here. Just rupees are given and rupees are used to change. So we will be changing variable cost according to our desi formula. And what was that? You can take old VC, it would be divided by old sales and then you need to multiply with new sales. Why it is not taking? No, a formula is automatically being used, so we can put bracket over here, multiply by, so instead, okay, I'm using is equal to, which is not needed. So old variable cost divided by old sales and you need to multiply it with new sales. So this way you can calculate your new variable cost. But please keep it in mind, it's not a formula. It would not be present in any book. It's just like a basic formula for calculation of variable cost. Instead of complicating the question, I'm giving you the formula. Old variable cost in the question is given 189,000. So put 189,000 over here. Then it would be divided by old sale, which is 3,40,000. And finally you will multiply it with new sales. Okay, old sale was present in our question So we can go and see old sales amount. That was 270,000. So here 270,000 is your old sales, and you will be multiplying it with new sales, which is 3,40,000. Please focus again. Old variable cost that was given in the question, this was 189,000. So what we have done, old variable cost 189, old sale was present in question 2,70,000. So we have put 2,70,000 over here. And then new sale we have recently calculated 3,40,000. It has been put over here. Statement is completed. Now we can calculate 189,000. It would be divided by 270,000, bracket close, and then it would be multiplied by new sale 3,40,000. So we have got our answer 238,000. It's new variable cost. This is new variable cost and we will use it. Sale has been changed from 270 to 340. Variable cost has been changed from 270 to 238. Old variable cost was 189. Okay. So 189 was old variable cost and now it has been changed to 238,000. Contribution margin we can calculate, as you know, it's the difference between variable cost and sales. Amount of sale is 340,000. You will subtract your variable cost, which is 238,000. So in this way, contribution margin is calculated as 1,02,000. Net margin can also be calculated. It's a difference between fixed cost and contribution margin. So contribution margin 1,02,000 and you will subtract fixed cost, which is 98,000. So we have also calculated our net margin. Okay, the main point or main theme you will understand, but first we will match the answer of second. This was our second and profit has been arrived 4,000 and our profit is also 4,000, which is highlighted over here. The twist of this question was just to calculate new variable cost. The formula is given. Just follow and rewind this lecture for 5 minutes. You will see and you can revise it. Old variable cost divided by new variable divided by old sales and multiply by new sales, with which you can calculate your new variable cost. Please keep it in mind, whenever you will change the sale, you will automatically be changing the variable cost, because variable cost is directly dependent upon sales. You will increase sale, variable cost will increase. If you will decrease sale, variable cost would be decreased. There is very direct relationship. But here you can see that the fixed cost is actually not going to be changed until and unless it has been asked in the question. Second part is solved, and in second part we have already matched the answer. It means it is totally completed. Now we are going to see what is in our third part. Refer to the original data. What does it mean? We are not going to see what happened in second. We will not be looking at what is in first part. So a new pattern, a new option is available. What at start I have said that manager wants to take this company as profitable. In second part what we have done, 9,000 was the loss, but right now 4,000 is your profit. So this decision will help. How? If he is increasing advertising, and with the increase in advertising your sale would also be increased to 70,000 by by 70,000, with which uh, previously you were facing loss of 9,000, but with this policy you can earn profit. So with just working off 3-4 lines, you can possibly be getting the solution of turning a company which is facing loss to a company which is getting the profit. In the similar way, there is another option, so that to make that company profitable. Right now we are facing loss of 9,000. Refer to the original data. President is convinced that 10% reduction in selling price. Selling price right now is 20 and he wants to reduce the price. Look, it's very common thing. A very a new student to economics or accounting knows that when you will decrease the price, demand would be increased. That means a junior student has an idea. The same thing is happening over here. You want to reduce the price. 10% from 20 would be reduced, with the help of which what is happening? There is an increase of 35,000 in monthly advertisement. Another combined, is saying combined 35,000 in monthly advertisement budget. Second thing they are going to do is to increase advertising budget. Advertising means this 35,000 would be paid in full, no matter if sale is increasing or decreasing, no matter if we are increasing number of units or decreasing number of units. So it means 35,000 would be considered as fixed cost. So second option is to increase this fixed cost from 90,000 by 35,000. But what would be the result? Will double the unit sales. It means 13,500 units were the old units, and with application of these two options, our sales would be doubles from 35,000 to its double number. What will be the new contribution margin format income statement if these changes are adopted? Now keep it in mind, there are three changes. 10% reduction in selling price, 35,000 increase in fixed cost, and units will be doubled. So what we are going to do for third part, we will be making a new income statement. As you know that we do write sales, then subtract variable cost, we will get contribution margin, and then we will subtract fixed cost, we will get net margin. Okay, so it's now time to see what changes are going to come. Here we do write units and then per unit. Finally, amount can be calculated. Okay, first thing first, we are following number 3. It has been said 10% reduction in selling price. Right now, sale price is 20. So what you will do? Your sale price per unit is 20 right now. Okay, we can calculate over here. So old new sale price, how it would come? By taking old sale price and minus reduction. This way we can calculate our new sale price. Old sale price was 20, as you can see in your question. This is 20. So put 20 over here, and it is needed to reduce by how much? In third point it has been said 10% reduction would be done. So you will subtract 10% of what? Selling price 20 would be multiplied by 10 and divided by 100. So please read it down. Old sale price was 20 and its 10% would be reduced. Now finally you can put it on your calculator. 20 minus 20 multiplied by 10 divided by 100. Inside the bracket 10% would be calculated and you will subtract this 10% from 20. So we have got our new selling price. We have got our new selling price as 18. So you can put over here 18. In our question, interestingly, what is happening? There is no change. In third point, there is no change in variable cost. Only three changes are required to be made: reduction in selling price, increase in fixed cost, or increase in units. It means variable cost is not discussed over here, and we have already calculated our variable cost in the question. Look at here, per unit we see variable cost per unit was calculated as 14. I had said to you this could be workable in our next segments. So 14 variable cost was already present. It means we are not going to change it. As in our question, it was advised not to change. So it means 14 variable cost would act similarly. Okay, and now one change we have made, per unit cost was reduced from 20 to 18, and fixed expenses are to be increased. Look, increase in 35,000 monthly budget. Your old fixed expenses 90,000. Please come over here and understand clearly. 90,000 was old and you need to increase by 35,000. So understand, when I will put enter, these amounts would be vanished. So 90,000 was your old fixed cost, and in question it has been said to increase advertising budget, which was fixed 35,000. So total fixed cost would be 1,25,000 now. Two changes have been made. Sale per unit reduced by 10%. Fixed cost has been increased from 90,000 to 125. 35,000 we were asked to increase. Okay, what third change would come? Will double the unit sales. Right now you are selling 13,500, and to double, what you will do? Your units right now are 13,500. So to double, you can multiply it with 2 or add again 13,500. Both options are good. If you will multiply it with 2, understanding that we are going to double the number of units. So we have got our units 27,000. So I'm marking it. First change which was asked to make was number of units are doubled, and it was said to reduce the selling price from 20 to 18. And third change was asked to make to increase the advertising budget. So look, this is your policy. As an please do not consider yourself as a student right now, consider manager. You have reduced your selling price, you are increasing your advertising budget, with which you expect that your number of units will be doubled. Now your effort is obviously, it's a good effort. It should be encouraged to take the risk of changing the policy, but practically it should be considered whether it is profitable or not. To that we will check our answer. If net margin will go in profit, that policy would be acceptable. Right now, as you can see, our organization is facing loss. So we have changed our policy with 3 factors, and we are now going to observe whether these policies are fruitful or not. To calculate the amount, as you know, we will multiply units with per unit. Sale units were 27,000 and you are going to multiply per unit, which was 18. So in this way, total sale has arrived, and you have better idea. Units for sale will always be equal to unit of variable cost. So we have got units and per unit for variable cost as well. Units were 27,000. Units are going to be multiplied with per unit, which is 14. So in this way, you have got your variable cost as well. At this stage, we can calculate our contribution margin, which is difference between variable cost and sales. Our sale is 4,86,000. You are going to subtract your variable cost, which is 3,78,000. So in this way, you have calculated your contribution margin. It's time to calculate net margin, which is difference between fixed and contribution margin. Your contribution margin is 1,08,000 and your fixed cost is 1,25,000. Oh, so it is loss. Although all policies were positive, what you have done, you have decreased your sale price. It's a common sense, when you will decrease your sale price, your demand should be increased, and they are expecting that demand has been increased in reality as well, and units are going to be doubled. They have increased their fixed cost as well, but ultimate effect is what? Instead of turning this company into profit, still they will face loss after application of these 3 policies. Let's check the answer. You can see in front of 3 minus 17,000 has been written. It means this policy would be failed. So instead of taking risk, practically a manager can predict about his sales, about his profit, about his loss. So at number 3, you will clearly be mentioning it that policy of this manager would definitely be failed. Instead of getting profit, the company will face even the worst condition. Right now, the bad condition is what? You are facing loss of 9,000. But in case you will apply third number conditions, you will face 17,000 loss. That means almost double the loss would be. So it means policy for third statement is a failure. It has been completed. Now we will see what four option is available for us. Referring to original data, it means whatever changes we have made in 3.2.1, we will ignore those changes and we will see what new options are available. Companies advertising agency think that new package would help sales. Okay, what is new package? The new package being proposed would increase the packaging cost 0.6 per unit. Now you can see it is per unit. Means you will increase your number of unit, this cost will be increased. If you will decrease number of unit, this cost would be decreased. And you have well familiar with these wording, it is directly associated with variable cost. So instead of in number 3 you have increase your fixed cost. In number 4 now you have a point to increase your variable cost. Though it's a good thing when you will make a better packet or package, then packaging would be attractive, so the element of sale would definitely be affected. You can increase your number of units sold by improving your packaging style. So for that they will be spending $0.60 per unit, assuming no other change. Okay, there is no option. How many units would have to be sold out each to earn a profit of 4,500? Okay, with this change they want to have 4,500 as their profit, and you know it's a target profit. And how many units are required? So we need to calculate target profit number of units. So units are needed for target profit, and formula we have already in our minds. You will be adding target profit with fixed cost, and then you will be dividing it with CM per unit. This is our formula, and right now we need to have contribution margin per unit is needed. For that, what you will do, you will take the same formula, sales per unit would be taken, and you will subtract variable cost per unit, with which what will happen, you will get your contribution margin per unit. Okay, go up, your sale per unit is mentioned over here 20, so you can put 20 over here. And now you need variable cost per unit. New variable cost is needed as there are some changes. For that you will see how much old VC per unit is, and there is some sort of increment they are saying in question. Old variable cost was 14, we have calculated over here. You can see variable cost was 14, you can put 14 over here. You need to add increment, and you can see that in number 4 they are saying packaging cost would increase by $0.6. So here your variable cost would be increased by 0.6. Now you can put it on your calculator, it would become 14.6. So this is our new VC per unit. CM per unit we can now calculate. How? Sales we have seen, and 14.6 is your new variable cost. Statement completed. Put it on your calculator. 220 would 20 minus 14.6. So we have got our CM per unit over here. Target profit was 4,500. Let me check what was target. Yes, 4,500 was our target profit, number 4, and you need to add in it fixed expenses. and fixed expenses were 90,000. Since he was saying reference to the original data, so we are taking all original amount. Fixed expenses 90,000, so you will add 90,000 and then you need to divide it with CM per unit. So CM per unit was calculated over here 5.4. So put 5.4 over here and we need to put a bracket over here. Statement completed. Now put it on your calculator. 4500 plus 90,000 are fixed cost. 4500 is targeted profit divided by 5.4 cm per unit we have calculated. Okay, 17,500 are the units. Let's check it answer. So number 4 answer is 17,500 and our answer is also 17,500. What does that mean? If you will manufacture 17,500 number of units, you will be able to get a profit of 4,500. Right now, how many number of units we are selling? Right now 13,500. So it's very easy to predict about future. Instead of selling 13,500, if you will sell 17,500, from 13 to 17, you will be able to get your profit 4,500. So right now we are facing a loss of $9,000. If you will increase your sale from 13 to 17,500, you will be able to get your profit of 4,500. In this way, fourth point is completed. Now let's see what fifth point is saying. Refer to the original data. Again, the same procedure. We will not be following whatever is happening in 1, 2, 3, 4. We will be considering original data which was present over here. By automating the company, it means they are removing human labor. Instead of human, they will be using machines or robots. The company could slash the variable expenses in half. So first option is available to decrease variable cost from original to half. However, fixed cost would increase by 1,18,000. So second change, there are two changes. Variable expenses are getting half and fixed expenses are increased by 1,18,000. Compute the new CM ratio, new break-even point and new break-even point in terms of dollars. So first thing is CM ratio. We are going to calculate, and CM ratio is actually calculated by CM divided by sales. CM originally we have seen. Is there any change? Yes, variable expenses are half. Original sale price was 20. For fifth point, what we need is CM. How do we calculate CM? By taking sales at first and you can subtract your variable cost. But if you need per unit CM, so what you will do, per unit sales would be taken and you will subtract per unit variable cost. Per unit sales is 20, which is mentioned in the question, and per unit variable cost would be changed. How? Variable expenses in half. We have calculated in first part our variable cost was 14. As you have seen, we have already calculated it. So we need to half it. 14th half is half of 14 is 7. So in this way, you will be calculating your per unit CM, which is 13. Okay, come over here. How you will calculate your per unit CM? This is mentioned over here. Sale minus variable cost. Sale was 20, variable cost was 7. Your CM per unit had become 13, and sale price is not changed, which is still 20. So 13 divided by 20. Keep your mind over here. Sale minus VC. Per unit sale price was 20. Same 20 is mentioned over here. CM you have calculated 13. 13 was put over here. Same formula can be used for total amount. So same answer would become. If you will write over here total CM and total sale, answer would be same. Okay. So there is no difference. So 0.65 is your CM ratio. Was it asked? Yes, it was asked, and your first answer is 0.65 written over here. Now we will be calculating 5A, which would be break even point in terms of units first. And how do we calculate? For that we need to have fixed cost, and that would be divided by CM per unit. Okay, here you can see per unit CM was calculated in fifth part. 13 is your CM per unit, and fixed cost I think was to be changed. Yes, fixed cost increased by 118,000. Initially it was 19,000. So it's time to change your fixed cost. Your new fixed cost would come by taking old fixed cost and just increment over here. Old fixed cost was 90,000, as you can see, and there is an increment of 1,18,000 is your increment. This is your fifth part. Fixed cost would increase by 1,18,000. So you can put 1,18,000 over here. Statement completed. Now you can calculate 90,000 plus 1,18,000. So in this way, but we have put 90,000, 1,18,000. Your new fixed cost has been calculated 2,08,000. Come over here. Fixed cost would be 208,000, and it would be divided by CM per unit, which was calculated in fifth part, and that is 13. Statement completed. Put it on your calculator. 2,08,000 divided by 13. So we have calculated break even point in terms of units. You can see second answer is 16,000. So fifth A part we are calculating, and we fifth, okay, the numbers are 16,000 is your answer, and here is your 16th answer. This was actually 5A, and this is 5B, but again it has first answer 16,000. Let it be checked. 0.65 was CM ratio, 5A part and 5A1. Hopefully you will see it by yourself. It is 5A. Numbers are important, otherwise you will not be able to see. So let me correct it. This is 5A, but second part, and this is 5A, but part number 1. So first answer 0.65 and second answer 16,000. You can see now over here 5A part is having 3 answers. 1.65, second 16,000. You can see 5A1 is having 65 and 5B is 16,000. Now we are on 5A, but we are looking for third part, and third part is what? Break even point in terms of dollars or amount. So how would you calculate? By dividing your fixed cost with CM ratio. For that we would be needing contribution margin ratio, which would be calculated by dividing CM to sales. CM is divided by sales. And luckily we have already calculated CM ratio 0.65. So come over here. Fixed cost was also calculated in 5.2. So it's little easy now. 208,000 is your fixed cost. You need to divide it with CM ratio, which is 0.65. Statement completed, put it on your calculator. 208,000 divided by 0.65. So here we have calculated our break-even point in terms of unit. 5A was having 3 answers. This is your third answer, and you can see over here, this is your fifth part. 3,20,000. 65, 16,000, 3,25,000, and you have calculated all 3 answers: 0.65, 16,000, and 3,20,000. In this way, fifth part has been completed, which was having 3 parts. Let's see what next. We have B part of 5. First, we will give the number. Since it's a long question, we'll have to be very much careful about numbering. So 5B, and it has also few parts. So 5B1 we are looking at. B part is saying, assuming company expects to sell 20,000 units next time. Right now we are selling 13,500. So due to any other reason, our sale is increasing from 13,500 to 20,000 units. Okay. Prepare to contribution margin format income statement. One, assuming that operations are not automated. In fifth part, we have automated, and there were 2 changes. Variable expenses were half and fixed expense was 1,80,000. He wants to make us income contribution format income statement, and there are 2 types of income statement. One, assuming that operations are not automated, that means these figures would not be applied, and secondly, with the automated system. So obviously we are making right now 2 income statement. So it's a first income statement where we will write our sales, then we will subtract variable cost, we will get contribution margin, income state contribution margin, and then we will subtract our fixed cost, we will get net margin. And now we will ignore all changes made in fifth point. Here what we do, right, units and then per unit, and here we will write down the amount. In our question, it has been suggested that expect to sell units 20,000. So we will change our units to 20,000 per unit sale. Since we are making it a little old. Why? Because he wants us to make an income statement. One, assuming that operations are not automated. It means we'll have to neglect this fifth statement. So everything which is present in our question would be used. So 20 is your sale price. You can put over here. Secondly, you do know number of unit of sales and number of unit of variable cost would always be same. You can put over here. Variable cost was calculated in part 1. You can see over here variable cost was here and it was 14. We will be using same 14 over here. Okay, since we are not considering fifth part changes, so it means our fixed cost would be similar to the fixed cost of our question, which was 90,000. So you can put exactly 90,000 over here. This is old income statement for fifth part. Everything is okay now. We can complete our calculation. First is to calculate sale amount. Whenever we want to calculate, it would be units multiplied by per unit. So we have our units 20,000 and it would be multiplied by per unit, which is 20. So we have got amount of sales. Then amount of variable cost is also be available to calculate by multiplying units with per unit. Units are 20,000 and per unit is 14. So we have our variable cost. It's time to calculate our contribution margin, which can be calculated by taking the difference of variable cost and sales. How much your sale is? That is 4 lakh, and you will subtract variable cost, and variable cost is 2 lakh 80,000. So in this way you have calculated your contribution margin. It's time to calculate your net margin, which would be calculated by taking difference of fixed cost and contribution margin. Your contribution margin was 1,20,000 and fixed cost was 90,000. We will take the difference to calculate the net margin. So in this way, your net margin has also arrived. This was B part. B part was having two answers. One with the old figures and 30,000 is the answer, and you have calculated 30,000 answer, fifth B, first part. Okay, it has been completed. Now guess what we will be doing in fifth B part. I'm just taking everything again from here, hiring these headings. It is little easy for me, but obviously for you will be writing everything again. I'm just taking headings from here to here. Okay, now we are going to solve our second part of fifth B. He is saying us to consider these changes where we were asked to reduce variable expenses to half and fixed cost to be increased by 1,18,000. So what you will do, you will make your income statement entirely in a different way. So we are going to remove it as we have to change everything. So come over here in fifth point and B part. Units are 20,000 said over here. So you will use 20,000 units. And as you understand that units of sale and variable cost would always be same. So you will use same 20,000 variable cost units. Since in changing, we are not related with sale price. The only thing which we will change in B part is to reduce variable expenses in half. Variable expenses, as you have seen, we have calculated variable cost per unit as 14. So old variable cost was 14, please understand, and we need to do it half. So it would become 7. If you want to have a view, please read it again. Slash its variable expenses into half, and variable expenses were calculated 14 and we have taken its half, that is 7. Your sale price would be as it is, as there is no change. Sale price is 20, so you will write 20 at selling price. It has been completed. But your fixed expenses in fifth part is said to be changed. Fixed cost will increase by 1,18,000. Your old was 90,000. So you will, old was 90,000 and it is said to increase variable cost by 1,18,000. Please see it and understand it well. 90,000 and 180,000. So new fixed cost has also been arrived. I'm letting you to know it again. Your old fixed cost was 90,000 and it was said in point B to consider this automation, and fixed cost would increase by 1,18,000. So in this way you have, look at here, 90,000 and 118,000 fixed cost has been increased. So everything is completed over here. It's time to calculate our contribution margin and net margin. First of all, we will calculate the sale. Whenever you want to calculate the amount, it would be a product of unit into per unit. Product means unit will be multiplied by per unit. So here unit of sales were 20,000 and you need to multiply it with per unit, which is 20. So amount of sales we have calculated. Next step is to calculate variable cost, and variable cost would also be calculated by multiplying units into per unit. Amount units of variable cost is 20,000 and you will multiply it with per unit, which is 7. So here we have got our variable cost. Now we can calculate contribution margin, which is the difference of variable cost and sales. How much sales? 4 lakh. To calculate the difference, we will subtract variable cost, which is 1,40,000. So we have got our contribution margin. Next is to calculate net margin, and how net margin would be calculated. It's a difference between fixed cost and contribution margin. Our contribution margin is 2,60,000, and you will subtract fixed cost from it to calculate the difference. So we have got our net margin also, and you can see that there was second requirement, and answer is 52,000. So we have our answer, net margin 52,000. So hopefully you people have understood the phenomena of this question. It was so interesting that we were having several policies with which sometimes you have become profitable, sometimes you have become uh, an organization facing loss. You can here see there was a loss. Here in second point you were getting profit, fourth point you were getting profit, and in fifth A and B part profit was huge. You have your net margin 30,000 and 52,000. It means policies which we are applying in fifth part was most fruitful. How? By improving your variable expenses, by improving your fixed cost. If you will automate your system, though your fixed cost will increase, but due to this automation, your profit will reach up to 52,000. Right now, you are facing loss of 9,000. But in just making your product automated and removing human labor, though it would increase your fixed cost as 1,18,000, but look at that, from 9,000 loss to 52,000 profit. So it means this policy is fruitful. In third number, you have reduced your selling price, you have increased your fixed cost, but even then 17,000 was the loss. Same you are doing over here. You are reducing your variable expense and increasing your fixed cost. Please, I need your attention. Both policies were same in 3 and 5th part. In third part, you have reduced your selling price and increase in fixed cost. In fifth part, you have reduced your cost, variable expenses, and increase your fixed cost. In both cases, you were increasing your fixed cost. And in third part, just 35,000 was the increase. But even then, you were facing loss. And in fifth part, you have increased your fixed price 1 lakh by 1,18,000. It's a huge change in comparison of this 35,000. But even then, by improving your automated system of production, cost was increased by a huge amount of 1,18,000, but still you were unable to get your profit. So question was very interesting, in which we have applied different policies to check out whether we can earn profit or loss. In this way, all 5 points have been completed. You can check from here. This was our first point. 2 parts were included in first point. Then we have started our second point, then third point, fourth point. 5 was having 3 parts, and going on. 5b was having also 2 parts. So in this way, our question has been completed. Though we have spent so much time to the solution of this question, but even if you have any query regarding this question, you are very open to ask your problem, share your difficulty, and I am assuring you I will instantly be available, inshallah. Maybe a little time I will take, but I will surely be answering your comments if it is query. I will surely be answering if it is a text message, or you can meet directly for solution of your problem. Question number 5.20 is completed, and hopefully we will be meeting soon again for the solution of any other question. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I am requesting you to please pray for me as well. Just one request, please listen. When you are solving this question, just repeat this 5b and 5b1 and 5b2. It's really interesting to understand and to make clarity about the subject. So it's a request to repeat these questions. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.